Hello, it's Get Good Fox here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Whitney Field. This is the biggest base in Meagher Valley, and so it begs the question, is it going to be a home run, or does it strike out? In the previous episode, I reviewed Squellen's Brewing Company, and I demonstrated how you can take food and ethanol and use the base to convert them into luxury items, which you can then sell for bonus influence. And just like in the last episode, I did have to rush really quickly to squeeze all the information in. It will be no different with Whitney Field because we've got a lot of stuff to cover, and it's also the very last base of Meagher Valley. So the next episode, I am going to be shipping out to Drucker County, aka the Plateau. As a sneak peek, I'm going to be showing you the mysterious Clio Relay, which you can build in your base once you unlock it in the Daybreak DLC. What is Clio? Who is behind it? While I can't tell you that, I can certainly demonstrate what the Clio Relay does for your base. At any rate, let's get started with the Whitney Field review, beginning with the map location. You're going to find that this base is located way down south, away from everything. It definitely has one of the worst geographic locations amongst the 7 bases in Meagher Valley, and that's simply because the farther you are away from the middle of the map, the more driving time you have to return supplies or launch missions. I don't know if it's the worst location in Meagher Valley, but it's definitely competing with the Country Church and the Rural Police Station, which are all the way up north. But let's actually get on foot and take a look at our real estate up close. The first thing you're going to notice is that Whitney Field is a baseball field, hence the home run and strikeout reference in the beginning of the video. But another thing you're going to notice is that there's not a whole lot of walls. It's not really like this base is a building. It's actually mainly fences, so it's going to feel very wide and open, but also very transparent. It's not so transparent that we can't have some weird graffiti to give the base a little bit of color. What do we got here? We have the top hat dog riding a horse. No retreat signed by RT. Gonna assume that's Red Talon. And then we have the cat penguin, the catguin, the pen cat. I don't know. Anyways, oddities aside, if you want to move into this beast of a base, you're going to have to fork over 3,500 influence, and you must have at least 8 people in your community to be eligible to move in here in the first place. I want to quickly point out that this base does have 2 built-in watchtower locations, which is relevant because as soon as I buy the base, it's not very long before the zombies appear to play ball. So I guess it's time to go batter up with the Clio Mace and the Kodiak XL and tell you what's it like to defend Whitney Field from zombie attack. Oh, and there's going to be a lot of zombie attacks in this base due to the facilities I've chosen. So the first thing I noticed is that those built-in watchtowers are actually the bleachers. It's the place where the people would sit down to watch the ball game. It actually looks super cool and also provides excellent shooting positions for your NPC community members. And for the most part, the siege was about what you would expect until this kind of unintended zombie trench began to emerge. You see, any zombies that don't get shot down will climb over this area and wind up in this little pocket trench-like section, and the problem is that the community members up on the bleachers can't shoot down at that angle, so they just kind of pile up here, and I had to go in there manually and kill them. More on zombie sieges later. Trust me, there's going to be more. There's going to be 2 more zombie sieges due to the strange facilities that are inside this base, but we need to move on into the facility review. And this is the screen you're going to be looking at as soon as you buy the base. Ooh, look at all those large facilities. I'm definitely getting a good vibe from this. On the other hand, we do have these temporary facilities in here, all these bedding locations. Some of them are depleting our resources, and some of them are actually taking away from our morale. And after ripping out those beds, this is Whitney Fields, primed for extensive customization. What we're dealing with here are a Titanic 3 large facility customization options. We've got 5 small facility options. 1 of them's indoor, 4 of them are outdoor, and then we've got 5 permanent built-ins. Permanents can never be torn down, but sometimes they can be upgraded and modified. Let's quickly take a look at what built-ins we have. Of course, we've got a storeroom and a command center. This storeroom is not upgraded. You'll have to make all the upgrades on your own. Otherwise, the storeroom and command center are unremarkable. Every base has these. You have the 2 fortified bleachers. These are the built-in watchtowers I was talking about, and these are normal everyday watchtowers, except because they're built-in, you do not have to pay the 1-a-day material cost, but you still got to pay the ammo. And then lastly, we have the announcer box. What does this do? Draw in the Zeds. Warning, causes zombie attack. More on this later. Because it is time to move on and take a look at my facility options. Oh, what's this? The mysterious Clio Relay. Let's go over some of the boring facilities real quick to get to the good stuff. Up top, I've got a kitchen for the morale and stamina bonuses. Down below, I've got 2 hydroponics facilities. One of them's growing food and the other one's growing medicine. And above that, I've got the infirmary. You gotta have an infirmary, or how are you gonna recover from injuries efficiently? What are you gonna use, med kits? Above that, I've got the lounge, and that's what's causing my morale to be so high. It also gives me 2 beds and allows me to play that OG Xbox for some Halo action. Down the bottom left corner, we've got the trade depot, and you can only build this if you specifically have a trader as a leader. I showed you what it did in the last episode, but as a quick refresher, it allows you to call in traders. Ammo, food, medicine, materials, it doesn't matter. You can call one of those types of traders in every 40 minutes. Oh boy, it's time for the new stuff though, because I have been holding out on you, starting with the Red Talon workshop. This is basically a super level 3 workshop, and you can only get it by having the Daybreak DLC. You gotta unlock it in the game mode, then you gotta pay like 1,500 prestige points in order to get the module to install it in your base. Well, what does this do differently than a level 3 workshop, and is it worth it? Well, the first thing I noticed is that it has Clio batteries, so this facility always has electricity, even if your base doesn't. That doesn't really matter to me though, because I always have electricity. Oh, but look at this. Maintenance automation, automatic passive weapon repair. I'm going to assume that's for the weapons you store in your locker, not the weapons that are currently equipped. Let's see how effective it is. So here you can see I've got 4 guns that are damaged, and according to my dashboard, it's currently 12:27. Yes, I'm up late recording this. While the base was building up for the video, I checked every 1 to 2 minutes to see the progress, and at 12:43, I noticed one of the guns were repaired, but the other 3 are still damaged. Quite a bit of time later, at 1:33, I noticed that the second gun was finally repaired. And then finally at 1:46, the third gun was finally repaired. I didn't stay up late enough to check the last one because I had to go to sleep, but that should give you an idea of my experiment of the gun repair speeds of the Red Talon workshop. Is it worth it? I'm gonna go with a no on that. It's mainly just a luxury. I like it because it makes my base feel like high-tech and super shiny, but is it a must-have? Absolutely not. Anyways, on to the announcer box facility with the Draw in the Zeds ability. Let me tell you, this is not the first time that I have seen this feature. If we go all the way back to Cascade Hills, there is a base called the Church on the Hill that had this same feature. What you do is you hit the button to draw in the Zeds, and it just skyrockets your base threat level and forces a zombie attack. It's not a siege. You won't get the quest to defend the base from a siege, but you will get an attack. And you can see from the footage that it is not a bad-sized attack. It even included a juggernaut. I mean, the jug is basically plus 50 influence for me, but you know, not a bad-sized attack. The question remains though, why would you want to force zombies to attack your base except for, I don't know, maybe the fun of it? And the answer to that is that after you activate the Draw on the Zeds ability, your threat level tanks tremendously. It goes down by 7 points, as you can see here. And while that's not permanent, what it means is while you're at the base ready to defend it, you draw on the Zeds, you kick their asses, and then while the threat level is low, you just go off and do your own business without worrying about your base generating a zombie siege because it's too noisy. Oh man, it's time to see what the Clio Relay does. What the hell is this thing? Well, let me tell you real quick that this is the very last unlock you will get from playing Daybreak. And then you still have to buy it from a prestige trader for 4,000 prestige, making it the most expensive of the Daybreak items. And then you still have to pay 512 prestige to activate it after you built it. So, by the gods, is this thing actually worth it? I don't know. Let's push the button and I'll tell you what it does. So I push the button and the first thing I notice is that my threat level skyrocketed because pushing the button gives you plus 30 threat. And then a whole bunch of nothing happened because apparently you gotta wait. I have to wait 6 minutes and 40 seconds for something to happen, but according to the warning, it causes a zombie attack. So let's find out. And as the warning promised, a zombie attack did indeed occur. This was basically a special type of siege. It was way, way longer than your typical kind of siege, and I guess it was a little bit harder than normal as well. It did feature a juggernaut, and I did take some damage in the process. But in the end, I didn't really feel like I was under any real threat. It just felt like a longer siege than normal. Anyways, the Clio drop lands, you see it on the map, you drive over there, it's just like the game mode. Here's the moment of truth. What do we get? We get some ammo, some Clio mines, the Clio Longblade, and an odd little Clio machine. Huh. I'll be honest, I'm a bit underwhelmed by it. I mean, technically, it probably was a good deal. 500 prestige would not have bought all this stuff, but it would take a really long time. You'd have to call a lot of these in for it to really start to pay off the 4,000 prestige and all the time you invested into the game mode to get the Clio Relay. So is it worth it? Let me call it in a few more times and I will make a video exclusively on all of the Clio facilities and the Clio mods, and I'll let you know what I think then. That said, it did have the odd little Clio machine, and I have no idea what the hell this is. These don't appear in the Daybreak game mode. Like, what the hell do you do with it? Like, I guess you can just set it on the ground. Is it like a lure? It beeps, it makes noise. Does it attract zombies? As luck would have it, a zombie did wander by and just completely ignored it, so I don't know what it does. It's clearly not a distraction. Anyways, to wrap up the review on Whitney Field, this base is really good. It might not have a great map location, but it's just got so much customization options, and none of the built-in facilities are wasted. It's very efficient. So I highly recommend this base to anyone planning to spend a lot of time in Meagher Valley, but don't forget about Squellone's Brewing Company. Still a great option if you want to make more influence on the side. Normally, this is where I tell you to like and then subscribe to my channel for future State of Decay 2 content, and normally this is where I would tell you that you don't have to be good to get good. But right now, I'm busy staring at this odd little Clio machine.